Everyone, happy new comic book day. My name's Greg. John is behind the camera. Once again, we're here in Midtown Comics, Times Square, 200 West 40th Street in New York. We also have a location over at Grand Central, 459 Lexington Ave. And speaking of Grand Central, you may want to take a trip over there for New Comic Book today because we have two contests going on. One is open for a full month, 4 weeks. It's to win a copy of Dark Knight 3, number 5. The Midtown exclusive Gregg Capullo variant cover. That alone is a pretty awesome prize, but then to make it even better, it's signed by Frank Miller and Gregg Capullo. So if you want to win, simply go on our Twitter page or our Facebook feed, look for the post promoting this contest. It was made yesterday. Share it, bring your smartphone. Is there such a thing as a non-smartphone nowadays, John? Everyone has a smartphone pretty much, mostly. Yeah, so bring your smartphone to 459 Lexington Avenue. Show an employee there that you shared the post, and they will input your name and email into the contest. And then, if you're the very lucky winner, you'll get an email in about a month. And then there's another contest that's a bit of a tongue twister. This one is a scenario where you want to get there as soon as possible, but of course travel safely. Simply go to Midtown Comics Grand Central, which is once again 459 Lexington Avenue, and say the Superman villain Mix Yes Spitlick. I hope I pronounced that right. If not, it doesn't really matter because all you have to do is go there and try to pronounce the Superman villain's name. Just try to say it to an employee, and if supplies are left, you'll get a pair of tickets to East Coast Comic Con, which take place this weekend. We know it's over in Jersey, and some of you frown upon that. You don't want to commute over to Jersey. But it's actually a pretty cool convention. There are going to be a lot of great names there, like Marv Wolfman, George Perez, many others. There's going to be some cool panels. We're going to be there. There's a lot of great cosplay, a lot of cool things to see, a lot of great creators to meet and get comics signed. So it's going to be fun. So once again, two contests going on in Midtown Comics Grand Central. One, you should get there ASAP. Say, Mix Yes Spitlick to an employee, and if any tickets are left, you'll get a pair of tickets to East Coast Comic Con. And also, be sure to show that you shared yesterday's post promoting the Dark Knight 3 contest we have going on. If so, you'll be in the running, and hopefully you'll get an email and you'll be the lucky winner. Now for the reason you're really watching, New Comic Book Day, so let's get to it. Up first from Dark Horse Comics, they are celebrating Alien Day. It is, of course, Alien Day because the date today is 4/26. And if you're familiar with the franchise, you know LV 426. There's a brand new limited series, Aliens Dead Orbit. I know when we get to Vic later, he's going to give that a lot of love, so he'll elaborate. There's also issue 11 of Aliens Defiance and Prometheus, Final Conflict. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for Alien Covenant coming out next month. Looks like they learned their lesson from Prometheus. They're taking what did well in that and then applying all the other great things about the franchise. Then we also have Conan the Slayer, as well as a Conan the Slayer trade paperback. There's also Lobster Johnson, issue 2 of 3. So if you're a Hellboy fan, you're actually going to get a double dose of Hellboy comics today. There's this, there's also Rebels, the Rook Archives, and then there's also The Visitor, how and why he stayed. So double dose, of Hellboy fun. Then we get into DC Comics. We have a new issue of Batgirl, as well as Detective Comics. If you're a Cassandra Cain fan, she's also known as Orphan now. This is must-read stuff. There is also a brand new crossover limited series. DC and Dynamite have joined forces for a Batman and the Shadow crossover. It's co-written by Scott Snyder and Steve Orlando. Artwork by Riley Rossmo. There's also Batman Beyond, number 7 for all your Terry McGinnis needs. And then we also have another crossover, Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77. And we also get to Blue Beetle number 8, which has an awesome cover right there, which I believe is by Tyler Kirkham. And then DC has been doing the Young Animal line. Now they're in issue 6 of Doom Patrol. I am behind, but everyone who loved the original run, not everyone obviously, I can't speak on behalf of everyone, but overwhelmingly this book is getting a ton of praise and lives up to the hype. And then we get to part 2 of The Button. We have 3 great covers here, 4 technically. We have Harold Porter, Jason Fabok, and Mikkel Yannin, and as well as a lenticular cover of the Fabok cover, which is a bit of a spoiler. I'm hoping at this point, if you're really into DC and The Button, you've already read part 1. I'm not going to flip through this because I don't want to give too much away in the event that you are behind. But Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter, as well as Hi-Fi and Colors, did a great job with this issue. And the final page gave me goosebumps. Check it out. I'm really enjoying the button. There's also Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number 19, as well as Hellblazer, number 9. He may not be on TV, but he's still alive and well in the comics. And that reminds me, Matt Ryan did voice Constantine in the animated movie Justice League Dark, which I believe we still have available. And the latest animated movie, Teen Titans The Judas Contract, that is currently out. It's, of course, inspired by the classic Marv Wolfman and George Perez story, The Judas Contract, which prominently features Terra and Deathstroke. It's a very good adaptation. Of course, it's not a direct adaptation, but still, it's really good. It's very entertaining. I strongly recommend picking it up. There's also the Commandy Challenge is still going strong. Issue 4. This is taking the classic Jack Kirby story. And there's a new creative team on every single issue. So one creative team leaves a cliffhanger, and then it's up to the next creative team to resolve that cliffhanger and create a new one for the following team. It's very interesting. And then we have another new issue from the Young Animal line, Mother Panic, number 6. And then, what do you say, John? Should we show off collections now before we get into Suicide Squad? Yeah, let's go for it. Check this out. Justice League Unwrapped by Jim Lee. That's quite a cover. Appears this is $39.99 for a hardcover. It appears to be the first story arc of the new Justice League run, the new 52. Presumably in black and white. I haven't done my research on this yet, but if you love Jim Lee's work, which I imagine applies to a lot of you, this looks like it's worth picking up. It's also Justice League Volume 2, Green Lanterns Volume 2, and Red Hood and the Outlaws Volume 1. 3 new Rebirth trade paperbacks. John and I gave you a closer look at these yesterday. If you're watching on Facebook right now, once you're done watching this video, scroll down our feed, and if you're into DC Rebirth, check out the video we did yesterday highlighting these titles and more. They're all good, but I really, really love Red Hood and the Outlaws. If you have any interest in the character, you should definitely pick that up. And then there's also The Flash by Mark Waid, Volume 2. So if you love the very talented writer and you missed out on all of his work, they're recollecting it just for you. And then there's also Batman and Two-Face, Face the Face Deluxe Edition, as well as The Caped Crusader, Batman, and the Rise of Nerd Culture. Then we get down here, Lee Bermay, number 16, and there's also Supergirl Being Super, issue 3. And we have a few more DC Rebirth releases. There's Action Comics 978, as well as Teen Titans number 7. Bit of a spoiler, King Shark is obviously in this. This book is a lot of fun. I love it. It's not going to blow your mind or anything. It's just a really good time. If you want to be entertained and smile and enjoy a fun team dynamic, check that out. And then The Truth Continues in Wonder Woman, number 21. And yes, we will be celebrating Wonder Woman Day here at Midtown Comics, so be sure to keep an eye on our social media pages for more announcements regarding that. We're trying to go all out, and we hope you all have a great time on the big day, which I believe is June 2nd or 3rd? June 3rd, I believe, and June 2nd may be the opening of the movie. And then from Vertigo in DC, we have Clean Room. And then over at Valiant Comics, there's a new Britannia, but there's also Exo Manowar issue number 2. They brought Eric of Dacia back. They followed up his epic run, and this is Matt Kint is taking over the writing duties. Definitely a tough act to follow, but he's living up to it, and it's definitely one of the promising new series out there, so definitely check it out. And then before we move forward, we have Victor Melendez here at Midtown Comics Times Square.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Going good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm better now that you're here.
Oh, man. Thanks. Thank you.
So for everyone watching on Facebook Live, what should they pick up today? I know before you were talking about Dead Orbit, so why should Alien fans check it out?
If anyone's a fan of James Stokoe, if you guys are a fan of Orc Stain, Wonton Soup, the Godzilla Half-Century War, or some of the pages that he did in Jeff Lemire's current Moon Knight run, highly recommend this. This is written and drawn all by James Stokoe, and anyone who's a fan of Aliens will be sure to enjoy this. I mean, the art is great. The technology in it is very low-tech, much like the movies. The costumes are very similar to the first film. If you're a fan of Dead Space, you know, the solo guy going up against a whole bunch of aliens, I recommend this book. It's just going to get better and better as the series progresses. Definitely, it comes with my highest recommendation. Also, because it's Alien Day today. If you guys don't know, Alien Day is basically just a designation that they do for April 26th. LV-426 is the planet that they go to on the first film. So
The moon.
The moon, yeah, exactly.
It's all right, man.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. And that's basically it's a celebration of the franchise. So if you have the Blu-rays, watch them all. I will be marathoning them tonight. No AVP. No, that's nonsense. And then second pick, Nam Wolf. The title says it itself. Vietnam werewolf. Much like my previous, about a few months back, Moonshine, which was just about bootleggers and werewolves. Looks like werewolves are really back in. So now they're just taking them into Vietnam. It's a weird title. Honestly, it's from Albatross Publications. If you guys read Hillbilly from Eric Powell, it's the same publisher, so you can understand the type of stories that they tell. It's very B-movie, very sci-fi, and just a very cool and amazing concept that I'm definitely worth checking out. One of my favorite time periods. So, and also I'm a big fan of werewolves, so it just happens
Good
to like,
combo.
yeah, just good combo. I'm also checking out the Young Justice trade that unfortunately looks like we're sold out of already.
Yeah, I didn't spot it over there.
Yeah, it looks like it's already
the
gone.
Peter David Young Justice trade
That's
gone
the
in
power.
Midtown Times Square.
That's
Wow.
the power of Young Justice. People
Yeah.
want it.
Wow.
People have been wanting it. I know I have, and a few of the guys have. So yeah, there's a testament to what people really want to read. I would also recommend Jeff Lemire's new graphic novel, Roughneck. I just read it over the weekend. It is fantastic, guys. If you guys love Jeff Lemire, and if you love his original creator-owned work, this comes with the highest recommendation. It's a really just personal, touching tale of just like siblings trying to move past their rough past. You know, to be frank, it's really good. I really recommend it, guys.
So I'm putting you on the spot for a second. It's LV-426, Alien Day. Obviously, the Xenomorphs have had a lot of crossovers in the comics. They fought Batman, Superman.
They fought 'em all.
If you could have your Victor Melendez's dream Aliens crossover, hopefully Dark Horse is listening, and they'll collaborate on this. Aliens versus RoboCop. Who would you really want? I know that haven't they fought Judge Dredd? I believe.
They fought with Dredd. They've gone against the Predator.
The Raid versus Aliens.
Oh,
That would not be a fair fight for those guys.
No. If I'm being honest, I would like them to cross over with Boom since they own the rights to a lot of Carpenter characters. So I would have to say like Aliens versus Escape from New York or Big Trouble in Little China, or both of them together, Snake and Jack. Thank you. Snake and Jack just going up against a whole bunch of xenomorphs.
So a triple crossover that Greg Pak would write.
Yeah. Please, Greg, if you're listening, I'd buy this in a heartbeat. I'd read that story to no end.
When you said Boom, I immediately thought of Power Rangers fighting xenomorphs.
Oh. I mean, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure the idea is out there somewhere. Why wouldn't they want to do that? I mean, Power Rangers are really big right now. They're doing really good with JLA and their solo series. So, and DC's really open to doing crossovers, and so is Dark Horse. So let's just do a whole bunch of crossovers that people would want in movies, but you know, comics are better for the medium.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Any last words for all the people watching on Facebook Live in general about comics, or just any important messages you want to give to the world of Facebook, that is?
Yeah, sure. Guys, come on down to Wednesday. Look for any of these new releases that we have available, any DC, Marvel, Indies. We got it all. Ask for any recommendations. I'd be willing to give out to you guys. We go home, watch Alien movies. You don't have to watch Resurrection. It's not necessary. But the first three, yes. No Alien vs. Predator at all.
It's cheesy fun. I mean, it's not a good movie, but it's silly entertainment.
I'll admit it. I own them. I'm not happy about it, but I do own them.
Vic, thank you very much, man. All right. So now we get into IDW Publishing. They have a whole lot of properties at their disposal. We have Atomic Robo presents Real Science Adventures #1. There's also a new G.I. Joe Real American Hero. Larry Hama is still on it. 239. There's also Gem and the Misfits, as well as Judge Dredd, The Blessed Earth, issue 1. There's also Kill Shakespeare, #2. Micronauts, Wrath of Karza, #1. And then we have a few more IDW releases that John can give you guys a close-up of, including a little bit of Ninja Turtles and Transformers and Orphan Black. I guess before we move forward, there's a few new collections up here. There's Small Favors, Invisible Republic, Roughneck by Jeff Lemire, which Vic just praised. So if you like his work on Green Arrow, Old Man Logan, there are just so many things the man has done. Check it out. Black Hammer. There's also, I can't actually see it, Who is Wonder Woman? And then, what do you say, John? Keep looking at the collections? Yeah, sure. All right. So we have Saga Book 2. If you've heard all the praise for this series and you don't feel like picking up a bunch of trades, go out, get Book 1, read it, you'll be hooked, and then get Book 2. In case you're wondering how much it costs to catch up, this has a cover price of $49.99. It collects issues 19 to 36, and it's a hardcover. There's also more from Image like Surgeon X, Street Angel, and Kid Savage. Then there's a few from Marvel over here. We'll get to them in a bit, but if you want some classic Avengers with the Masters of Evil, there's also Carnage, the Dark Tower, Deadpool and the Mercs for Money with their IVX tie-ins, as well as Captain America, Marvel Knights. And then we get into Image Comics. I believe we missed Bitch Planet over here. There's a new issue, number 10. There's also Black Monday Murders, written by Jonathan Hickman. There's also Black Road, Hadrian's Wall, which has incredible art by Rod Rice, who illustrated the opening of Secret War 0. There's also Kill or Be Killed, which I know is one of V's picks, so we will talk about that in a bit if he's available. And then there's also Image Plus. So if you're interested in Image Comics, this is mandatory, and it also delves into Negan's origin. There's also Loose Ends, number 4. Excuse me. And then, The Old Guard from Gregg Rucka. If you love his work, you should be checking this out. We're only on the 3rd issue, so it'll be very easy for you to catch up if you've fallen behind. And then there's a few more new releases from Image, such as Stray Bullets and Savage Dragon, as well as Underwinter, number 2. Now we get into Marvel, the Marvel Universe. The Great Lakes Avengers, number 7. Occupy Avengers, which, as you can tell by the cover, features Hawkeye. That's on issue 6. Black Panther still going strong on issue 13. And then you have a few covers to choose from over here. There's also The Mighty Captain Marvel, number 4. This is the conclusion of her latest story arc, as well as Deadpool vs. Punisher, number 2. You can get a look at the Declan Shalvey and Jordy Belair cover right there. And if you haven't picked up the first issue yet, or let's say you really, really liked it, we had a signing recently with Fred Van Lente. He signed a lot of extra copies, so these are available online and in store. If you're going to come to a shop to pick it up, I strongly recommend calling in advance to make sure we still have it in stock. So he signed a bunch of copies of Deadpool vs. Punisher number 1, and as you can see, we sell them at cover price. We are not raising the price on that. There's also Elektra number 3. Never thought I'd see the day of Elektra taking on Arcade. It's a very interesting premise. Then we have Hulk number 5 featuring Jen with this great cover right here. There's also Infamous Iron Man number 7 by Bendis and Malieve, as well as Matt Hollingsworth. And Man Thing number 3 for if you grew up reading Goosebumps. R.L. Stine is writing this, only on issue 3. So it's very easy to play catch-up on this one. There's also Moon Girl and Devil's Dinosaur number 18. This one features a ton of cameos. And before we move forward, there's a few new collections from Marvel as well. The Road to Secret Empire, definitely a bit of a polarizing pick, but if you are keeping an open mind and you're enjoying what Marvel's doing, or you're giving it a fair shot, this should be mandatory reading. That paves the way and gives you all the proper context. There's also a new novel, Star Wars Thrawn. There's also Mosaic, the first trade paperback. There are 2 very topical hardcover releases from Marvel Comics. Of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is coming out very soon. We're looking forward to it. And here's the ultimate guide to the Cosmic Outlaws, as well as a huge book which goes over their history. Then there's a few other trade paperbacks here. Deadpool, World's Greatest, as well as Black Widow. In case you're wondering, Deadpool, it's Volume 6, and Black Widow, Volume 2. Then I believe we left off around here, so we have Hellcat, issue 17, as well as Rocket Raccoon number 5, which is the final issue of Matthew Rosenberg's run with the character. A new Rocket Raccoon series will start soon. This is a fun conclusion. It features my favorite Spider-Man villain, Kraven the Hunter. That alone hopefully sold 1 or 2 people out there on it, for the 1 or 2 Kraven fans out there. And then we get to Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, #1 by Peter David and Mark Bagley. If you're excited about this, if you like the Spider-Man universe, if you've read it and you liked it, come to Midtown Comics downtown tomorrow being Thursday, from 6 to 8. We strongly recommend showing up early for this one. And here, let me give you a preview while I babble about the signing. Peter David will be at Midtown Comics downtown, which is located at 64 Fulton Street, from 6 to 8. Again, please show up early because it's sure to be crowded. You can bring up to 3 items to get signed. Of course, bringing a copy of Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider #1 is mandatory. He's here to celebrate that after all. And Midtown Comics Downtown is located at 64 Fulton Street. So if you love Peter David, you love Spider-Man, you love Ben Reilly, should be a no-brainer if you're near the New York City area tomorrow night and you're available to make it. Hopefully we'll see you there. Then we also have Darth Maul #3. Features a few familiar faces aside from Darth Maul, such as Cad Bane and Aura Singh. There's also Thanos with a Resurrection cover, but let me show you the primary cover as well. This one is basically Thanos Unleashed. Then we have the Ultimates 2, #6, as well as the second chapter of Past Lives and Old Man Logan with a great Andrea Sorrentino cover. This is issue 22. This is going through Wolverine's history, and this one opens up with Wolverine's very first appearance, which of course includes Hulk and Wendigo. There's also the second chapter of Weapon X. The first one featured Old Man Logan and Sabretooth, and now this one introduces Warpath. There are also 2 True Believer issues. They're only $1. Astonishing X-Men #1, which is not only one of the best X-Men runs, but one of the best comics out there, I think. It's by Joss Whedon and John Cassaday. Very good. There's also Generation X. And we also have more from Resurrection, the second chapter of X-Men Blue, and the second chapter of X-Men Gold. Oh, I was going to ask V for his recommendations, but he ran away. That's all right. He's working hard. He's keeping busy. So thank you very much for watching. We hope you all enjoy Alien Day as well as New Comic Book Day. Please remember, we have 2 contests going on in Midtown Comics Grand Central, which is located at 459 Lexington Avenue. Go say Mr. Mixia Splitlick, or pronounce it better than I could, or at least try your best. And if they're still available, you'll get a pair of tickets to East Coast Comic Con. Also, check out our feed on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have a contest to win a signed comic, Dark Knight 3, #5, signed by Frank Miller and Gregg Capullo. If you want to win that, stop by, prove you shared it. They'll add your name and email to a list, and we'll contact you via email on, I believe, the 23rd, if you're lucky enough to win that. So good luck. Gives you plenty of time to head to Midtown Comics Grand Central. While you're there, I mean, there's no purchase necessary, but are you really going to make the trip just to enter? You may as well browse a little bit. Check out the shop. It's really cool. All right. Have a great New Comic Book Day. Be good to each other. Bye.